Oh wait, no longer greatness has arrived. Welcome to the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. Of course, you can listen to the show wherever you find your podcasts and on YouTube at the Trophy Room Show. And if you like what you hear, please consider dropping us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, plop us a follow on Spotify, or toss a buck our way over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. And today is a special episode because today we are reacting live to what just happened, the aftermath of the big PlayStation showcase. So with all that said and with all that out of the way, the greatest co-host, whoever is, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Yeah, we finally got it. We finally got the thing that we've all been clamoring for.
Yeah.
And today we asked the question, was it worth all the hype? So with that said, before we get right into it, Kyle, none of our predictions came out true.
Yeah, none.
Not
one.
Not a single one.
It has me questioning all these different things that were hinted at and whatnot. Like, where was PlayStation Studios Malaysia? Was that a completely fake account that I thought was real? It seemed real.
I mean, we had Uncharted in a sense and in a way.
Sure.
But not the way I wanted it to happen or go down. This is a strange show that lives in a strange year, produced by a company that is obviously in the throes of the global panorama of which we live in right now. I do want to mention that. Both shows, when you think about them, kind of weird when it comes to like the Xbox showcase, because it's a lot of CG and a lot of concept. Here on PlayStation Land, it's a lot of things we've already seen before, a lot of third-party stuff. And then when it comes to their first-party stuff, it's not a whole lot. It's not the whole kit and caboodle, but it's also a whole lot of concept, except with, God of War and Gran Turismo. So that said, Kyle, I want to break the show down. I want your take of what you thought of the show as a whole before we just crack right into this nut of stuff.
I thought it was a good to great show, honestly. I really do. I had a great time. Was there a lull? Absolutely there was. But I feel like that was a lull for us here on the Turf Room because most of those games didn't speak to us. They were still big games. They still had their place and still had their audience. The one thing I wish they didn't show and take up a solid 2 minutes or minute and a half was Deathloop because it's out so soon. We just gotta stay to play for that. Like, then I get it. It's the last one of the last major Bethesda games we will get on a PlayStation. You want to sell that for a year. This is where you can play Deathloop. But like, just enough. We've seen it so many times. If you gave
us a state of play.
If you weren't going to buy Deathloop before that trailer, I don't think that trailer did anything for you to go out and buy it.
And if I dare say, from the spoiler man himself, a little spoilerish as well.
Did not know. I won't say anything, but did not know about that character.
That was unneeded and unnecessary and unwarranted.
I do think the show was very, very solid.
Okay.
Started strong. It ended extremely strong. And there were just, in the middle, it didn't get up to a high. But there were moments where it was higher than the others.
Okay. For me, this had to be the weakest show in a minute. Like, in terms of what they've done, I think the weakest show in terms of like the last E3 with Flute Man. I wasn't completely stunned by what I saw here. I mean, take that back. There were some things, and we'll talk about them, that had me floored. But I think it's something we said in the beginning or on the prediction showcase we did of if we see God of War in the beginning, this is going to be the showcase. If we see God of War closing, then this is going to be a weaker showcase. And God of War closed, ergo, this is a weaker showcase than what I think was a better showcase is where they launched the PlayStation 5. I think a lot of those games... spoke to me, spoke to you a lot more. Not to say that there wasn't really great games here.
Yeah.
It's just I wasn't completely floored with most of them. And in truth, I think once we hit GTA, I had a huge lull. It really didn't hit until we get Wolverine. So like there was like a good, 8 to 10 minutes there where I was just like checking my watch.
I do feel like that little middle section is the lull. And I think that's because we've spent all summer watching other people's showcases having these games being shown already on them.
Absolutely.
So it feels like we're just getting the leftovers of the meal that was already placed for everyone else to eat.
Yeah. That's actually a really good analogy. Do you think if this was during E3, this wouldn't have been a problem?
If this was the exact same show, I still do think it would be a little bit of a problem because PlayStation, if I'm not mistaken, usually ends E3 as like the last showcase that it's shown before Nintendo. So like we would still probably would have already seen all those games before already.
Fair.
So I don't think it mattered.
Yeah. To me, I kind of, and I'm going to say this, I'm a PlayStation guy. You're listening to a PlayStation podcast. I think this show was a 6.
Okay.
I think it was good. It didn't wow me. And I honestly think, Kyle, this show should have wowed me more. And when we get into it, maybe that changes because we're literally coming off right after the show ends. But I'm not like, oh my goodness, this is awesome. This is, there are some games, trust me, we'll talk about them, but not a whole lot here that got me really antsy. That said, let's kick it off with something that got us immediately hyped right out the gate. That is Knights of the Old Republic remake for PlayStation 5.
Yeah, man.
This is a timed exclusive. We don't know how long it is a timed exclusive. What we do know from the after show is that this game is a remake in the sense of they're working on the systems from the ground up. So I don't know if this means it's not going to be a turn-based type of game. But story-wise, they seem like they don't want to touch it much because that game means a whole lot to not just gamers, but Star Wars fans. Knights of the Old Republic is it for a lot of Star Wars fans. So, Kyle, for you as not a big Star Wars fan, how did you like this reveal? How do you feel knowing that PlayStation's got this game for, let's just assume, a year?
Sure, yeah. I think it's huge. I've always heard about how fantastic Knights of the Old Republic is as an RPG fan. Something I've never experienced because, one, I didn't own a PC to play it on a PC. And two, I didn't own an Xbox until very recently and never dove in. So I think this is very huge for PlayStation to get a monumental RPG just in video game history, let alone a Star Wars exclusive, at least for a year. Like later on the show, we'll see more Marvel partnerships, huge IP there. Star Wars is just as big, if bigger. And for like a game that is so well revered, this was, if they didn't open with the studios part, I think this is the perfect way to open the show.
Yeah.
If you weren't going to open with any of the PS Studios games that we saw at the later of the show, this was the opener. 100%.
Yes. This was a great opener for games wise. I should have prefaced this. They started off the show
with the commercial thing.
With the weird commercial.
Yeah.
That did take up the 40-minute time.
Yeah, it did.
That was filler. That was unneeded. I'm going to say it was stupid.
Sure.
It was I did not like that one bit. We have a PlayStation 5. You guys talk about showing us the game. Show us the game. I don't want to see these weird guys and sexy Jesus playing chess. I don't want it. Dumb. But looking at Knights of the Old Republic, for me, this is a year or whatever type of time exclusivity for this game is a big deal because a lot of Star Wars fans are going to jump on this. If I'm Sony, I am making panels, customizable panels of Revan's dumb face etched onto him.
Me being a big dum-dum.
Yeah.
Was that Revan?
That's Revan.
Okay.
He's a big freaking deal. Yeah. Also, though, at the same exact time, kind of kills the hopes of an Old Republic movie, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, that's Revan. He looks incredible. Oh my God. We don't even see his purple saber yet. So I got a whole lot of feelings here. A great way to start the show.
Yeah.
And then we have a game called Project Eve.
Yeah.
This is weird.
Very weird. The entire trailer, I was like, why does this feel so familiar? Why is it a Capcom thing? Because it very much feels like a Capcom with like the enemy design, the way the characters are moving, the environments a little bit.
Shift Up is the devs that are working on it.
Shift Up, yeah. So I was like, and then I kept hearing like Parasite and then Eve. They called the character Eve. It's like, hold on a second. Is this Parasite Eve coming back? It is Eve in a sense. I don't think it's tied to Parasite Eve at all now. Having never played those older games, but knowing that is an IP that is beloved by many. Very interesting. I love the enemy design. Like I have it playing right here on stream for everybody. Like that gigantic tentacle monster taking over a space station. That's quite the visual, and the environments look super cool.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say I'm in on this one.
So here's the thing. For me, I actually really like this game. It looked really cool to me. And for me, it looks like for just the elevator pitch of what this game is for people that are listening, not watching. It feels like the combat's a mix of like a Devil May Cry with, again, just trying to paint a picture here, with a Soulsborne-esque targeting system. So to me, I was sold by the aesthetic, and the combat looks really, really good. I'm digging what I saw here. And I tried to look up the developer Shift Up Corporation.
Yeah.
And it is, I think, a Chinese company. Okay. I think, but I'm not too sure. So yeah, this actually looked really good. And this was just like, okay, I'm 100% in on this. I thought this was another good look. The next game, Kyle, this one's straight for you because I don't have any strong feelings, is Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Yeah.
How are you liking it?
I'm loving it. Yes. Does it look more of just Borderlands? Of course it does. It's kind of hard to find a way to differentiate it from Borderlands because of the art style and the cell shading. But I'm just digging it. I love Tiny Tina as a character. I love the voice cast. They even made a joke of like, oh, you're probably saying to yourself, why use guns? Because I am. Whatever. Like, just get over it kind of a thing. But yeah, I'm so into, dropping another 60 hours in a looter shooter kind of in a fantasy setting. Yes, please. I'll do that any day of the week. I
think I'm more on board with this game because of the cast.
Yeah,
like seeing Wanda Sykes, Andy Samberg in there.
Will Arnett.
That gets me in the door. I think Will Arnett. Yeah, so like I feel like that's gonna get me in the door. I think I'll be trying this game out, but I wasn't like, oh, yeah, okay. For sure. Yeah, this was another one we expected to be at this showcase, and it was. Forspoken looks cool. I'm getting more sold on this game as it goes on. The protagonist is like portaled into this world, this fantasy world where she's like trying to move out of the big city. She's got a fluffy little cat.
I forgot who said it in chat, but they were like, "Oh, that wasn't very Disney princess of her." Like, yeah, I'm getting like a Disney princess vibe of her being taken out of her element and having to fend off, but she's like a smack talking, wisecracking Disney princess who isn't afraid to curse. And like, what the shit is this kind of thing? Yes. Like, she's very aware of what's happening to her, which I love because that makes sense. Very huge contrasting thing from her being like, what's going on? What is it? Is that a effing dragon? To the the Final Fantasy Souls game, where that dude's walking around with the t-shirt and he's just cool with it all and not acknowledging how weird his surroundings are. And they're both like Square Enix games. It's weird, but like, no,
that's actually a perfect way of saying it, Kyle. I couldn't agree more. This is very contrasting of to the last mainline Final Fantasy game where it's like, a couple of dude bros in a futuristic Mercedes fighting weird antelope.
Oh, I wasn't talking about 13. No, not 13. 15. I'm talking about the Souls game. Final Fantasy Chaos, whatever it was called.
That game does not look good. Well, I'm even peeling from 15, and Like her aesthetic is awesome. So like her weapons are her bracers in her hands, or on her arms. And yeah, she's very much like, this is weird as hell, but I'm digging it. So I love her character already.
Yeah.
I think she looks super cool. I like the environments a lot. I just need to see more of the combat to really get me in, because that was the thing that I wasn't a fan of with 15 was the combat. And so knowing that this is the same team, I want to see what they've learned and how they approach combat systems in this game. But so far it looks really good. I'm in.
I think another huge selling point is the movement of her moving around the world and grabbing onto these little branches to swing across and shooting all over the place to move around. She seems very agile and quick,
yes,
which is fantastic.
Yeah.
If it feels cool to move around the worlds, I think the combat doesn't have to be mind blowing.
Yeah, you know what? It also
if you think of like hot take incoming,
go for it.
Spider-Man PS4 moves around real quick, but the combat did feel like Arkham. And that's not a bad thing. But the feeling of moving around the city and dodging and jumping over enemies and stuff, it was half the fun in that game.
Audience, I want you all to know that half of Kyle's opinion is not the fact, or we do not sponsor this. We don't endorse it.
Listen, I have to sit through you calling games of a generation all the time.
All right. I get it. No, you know what this kind of made me feel too as well, or whatever. It made me feel with vibes of like Control, of how she's moving and how she's using her like bracelet as like the tool in Control.
The service weapon kind of thing.
The service weapon. Yeah, that's what it kind of also gave me feels of. So awesome. This is another high point. We like what we're seeing here.
Absolutely. Spring of next year.
Rainbow Six Extraction.
Hello, Lo. How are you?
This is where we see it. This is where it begins. Yeah, we won't waste time on this like the show did. So enough of that. None of us are hyped for this game. It's not doing it for us.
Yeah.
This just doesn't look good.
Like I said on stream, I think Back 4 Blood is a better version of this kind of thing, in my eyes.
Here's a game that we all saw coming. Alan Wake Remastered. Damn, this game looks good though.
Looks great. I'm excited to experience it fully from the start to finish with trophies. Again, I wish this was kept under wraps. Stupid retailers leaking it out. Like this would have been huge. This would have been the second of the show of a former Xbox exclusive being on PlayStation for the first time.
Yeah.
With KOTOR in this. That would have been huge.
Yeah. And actually, what a great thing to point out. Yeah, KOTOR was a Xbox exclusive, now coming to PlayStation for a timed exclusive. And Alan Wake, of course, being one of the, I think, beloved cult classics on the 360, making its way here. And I was telling you during the show, they have side by side screenshots of, you know, the game back on the 360 and here, and it's night and day. This is a game that I will be 100% playing on day one. This looks great.
October 5th? Yeah.
Kyle, they showed more GTA 5.
Woo!
Let's go.
I hope people keep getting those $1 million a month through PS Plus. Yeah, that was the thing.
Please keep it coming.
Keep it coming.
I have taken a few of those $1 million, by the way.
Oh, I have not.
Yeah. I've got my virtual Biden bucks just in case via PS.
I'd like to cash out, please, Mr. PlayStation.
And how much is this in real monies?
We'll give you about $1.50.
It'll be about $3.50. All right, Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah.
I don't know what this game is, Kyle.
Some moments I'm super intrigued and I'm loving what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Others I'm like, man, I really wish it was in the first person.
Yeah.
I think the first person thing is really taking me out of it because I've never played a Tango Softworks game before. Evil Within was too creepy for me. But like the fact that they were going with like ghosts and spirits in this one, I was super excited from that first trailer that they showed off. And then that second one showed first person and you're doing like spells with your hands and stuff. took me out a little bit, but the enemy design looks cool. I just don't know if it's fun to play.
And it doesn't look fun to play because like all you're doing is like you're making these motions with your hands, and then you're like shooting like hand bullets at them. It's the only way I could describe
it's
it.
Like
it just
warding symbols or something.
Yeah, it just doesn't look. This is a game where I'm just like if it reviews out of 5, you know what I mean? I'm like I'm not surprised. Mm-hmm. If it reviews out of 9, I will be stunned. That type of stuff. Like this does not. This I'm surprised Bethesda went. All right, this is it.
And the last true Bethesda game we will get on PlayStation.
Oof. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, so here's one of those little upticks for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're not high on it. I know many people are not.
Looked better. This trailer looked a lot better.
Because
it looks
they
like
showed
you actually
different environments. I feel like that first thing that they showed off during E3 on Square Enix show was a detriment because that opening environment did not look great. We were co-streaming with Sean Capri. It was like, look, we're fighting Jello.
Yeah.
They're very clearly there'll be more impressive looking character designs in this game and cool characters and cool environments. Even you said the humor got you a little bit. And that's what Guardians needs to do. It needs to get you on the humor and it's got to be a fun thing to play through.
Yes. I just feel like Square Enix has burned all the trust with gamers with Avengers. And I just think that's going to translate here. Like, I'm not even going to pick this game up day one. There's so much to play. Why this one? I don't know. So for me, this is as much as like the humor got me and I'm on board here. I'm still not on board enough to say I'm going to buy this one day one. But this one, I think, was the uptick in the lull that we saw.
I'm a little more confident because it's Eidos Montreal.
Yes.
Who I believe did Deus Ex.
Mm-hmm.
So like that has me a little bit more comfortable and excited about it, but like I said on stream, it all depends on how that combat works and feels to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Controlling all your teammates, all the Guardians at once. Is it going to be too clunky? Is it going to be overwhelming? Or is it going to feel fun and quick and exciting to do? I don't know.
Yeah. Also, I just want to shout out Hide Indoors, who gave us a Prime subscription.
Woo!
Thank you so much. You're amazing. Thank you. The next game that we saw, Vampire Blood Hunt. I'm done with this one. Already done with it. Vampire, what is it? Battle Royale game.
Blood Hunt.
That's enough. I feel like we don't have to go anymore. Doesn't look great.
This was the one that I was audibly upset about just because I think this idea is stupid. Yes. I like to be very positive. I think this is a stupid idea. They're vampires. Why are they fighting with guns? I don't understand.
I don't know, man. Yeah, this
not everything needs to be a battle royale. Put all that time and effort into the game that's been delayed forever.
Sir, you are correct.
I don't know.
Here's another one. Deathloop. I told people, hey, listen, we're going to see more than what you think a Deathloop.
Yeah.
The people are like, no, please don't. That would be a bad move. Indeed, that move was made, and indeed, it was a bad one. I love what I've seen from this game.
Yeah.
Right? Mr. Midas, he's sold me on this game, which you should check out my interview with him on last episode, but the episode before that. I'm in. You've had a whole state of play. Why are you showing us more? I'm done. Stop.
Yeah, it's less than a week away.
And then they give out some important plot points.
Very important plot points.
And and it felt unnecessary. It's not like if I told you a dog died in the game.
Yeah.
That's not a spoiler. That's me doing you a favor. This is a spoiler. I didn't like.
I feel like they were like, oh, let's add a little bit more intrigue and have people guessing as a way to like, oh man, can't wait to buy it. This what he's a what? I'm not gonna spoil it for the audio listeners, but I don't know. Like you said, we just got a state of play. What, last month in August?
Yep.
Comes out in 5 days, the 14th.
Yep.
Enough. Just give me the game.
At the same exact time, PlayStation, you've been a good ward. You've been you've been a champ on this one.
Yeah.
Good on you guys. Seriously.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
We all know this game is going to be what's carrying PlayStation 5, and this is now going to be an Xbox game in a year and an Xbox studio in a year. So it's really good on them to say, no, we made this deal with you. We're going to honor it. That being said, it's also a contract, so they probably get sued if they didn't. Kyle, we got Radiohead's game that's coming out, huh?
Did not know what the hell this was.
Xbox got Redfall. We got this VCR tape thing.
You can't compare the two.
Yep.
You can't compare the two.
No, we can't. Redfall, I want to play. This game, I don't. So, yeah, that's enough of that.
I don't even know what it is. Is it a horror game? Is it in VR? Is this a PSVR 2 thing?
No, they said no PSVR stuff in the show. So
Kid Amnesia Expedition.
Kid Amnesia. Presented by Radiohead and Epic Games. A lot of Epic Games stuff in here.
I mean, that partnership.
Yeah.
They've been giving them lots of money.
Here's the other one. Tekia Island. Island game.
Super cute.
Okay.
I mean, you can't look at this and say that this does not look cute. Look at that water. Yeah. That water's gorgeous.
Adorable.
Just, I feel bad. This is so out of place with everything else that was shown.
Yep.
It's the one kid thing. Or the kids. Let me back up. I don't mean kid in like a derogatory way. I just mean like in a not shooty, fun, violence kind of thing. This is a very chill thing.
Yes.
And it felt out of place. And this game looks cool.
Yep.
It's just, I feel bad.
Okay, so pretty much you're a little girl, you're on a raft, you're going to islands, you can transform into animals. Yeah. Okay, this looks cute.
Yeah, right?
You turn into, you got a little parachute, gliding. I was falling asleep at this part, so this is why I'm not.
This is the end of the lull.
Almost, we're almost there.
Yeah.
Uncharted Remastered for PlayStation 5 and PC. Sorry, Uncharted 4, did I say 5?
You said 4.
Okay.
I believe.
It will come with Uncharted 4 and The Lost Legacy. So this is gonna be on PlayStation 5, but also PC. They made note of that, which I am surprised. PC.
I love it.
No, I mean I love it too. You know how I feel about
I just mean I love that move to be like, hey, just deal with it.
Yeah,
it's happening. Whatever. You played these games already. Chill.
And it makes you think, oh, why is Uncharted here again? I understand that. I think that is the reason. It's like, because this is on PC and this is how we introduce the broader fan base of like us expanding out of console and into PC. And yes, I think some fanboys are going to lose their minds. Us, awesome. I get to play Lost Legacy again with haptics and adaptive triggers.
Hell yeah,
the best Uncharted. Sure, I'll go for it. Absolutely, I will.
Look at that. Bright and bold. You can't miss it.
Yeah.
PS5 and PC. Deal.
PlayStation stuff.
Hey, okay, Steam Deck, Uncharted on the go.
Woo! I mean, so that said, I feel like the lull really does start with a car on my end. After or at GTA, and you get like 3 or 4 games here that are just, it's a good solid chunk. It's like a good 10 minutes that felt just filler to me.
Sure.
But that said, Herman Host comes out as I was about to lose faith. As I was about to say, this is atrocious. This is not good. This is whatever. And Herman Host comes out. He's like, hey, PlayStation 5 games are important. Look at how beautiful I am. Look at my jawline. I'm going to start showing you the last 10 minutes, and it's all PlayStation Studio stuff. Are you in? Are you ready? And I'm like, Herman, I thought you weren't going to say anything. I thought you were closing the show, you crazy son of a gun. Let's show a PlayStation 5 game, because it's up until this point, we haven't seen anything, Kyle.
Yeah.
And we were complaining, even on this stream, of like, why aren't we seeing a PlayStation first-party game? And here we go.
Look at this tease. Again, audio listeners, it's the Insomniac Games logo, but instead of like the traditional blue O in the middle, it's red.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, oh my God, they're doing it.
Spider-Man 2
is back. No, I'm like, I thought it was Resistance. Because it's like a radio staticky. It felt old timey, and then it immediately went to Marvel. I go, oh, okay, we're getting some Spider-Man 2. That's cool.
We see a bar of dudes just strewn about, all messed up.
I was like, oh, who's that villain? Is that Kraven at the bar?
Exactly, with the top hat.
Yeah.
And I was like, no way, because you see the knuckles. That's what gave it away to me. I was like, oh no, this is Logan. Are they making a Wolverine game? And right as I asked that question, the claws come out.
Oh,
Marvel Wolverine.
Just let's just stop on this title screen for a quick second.
Soak it in. Oh my God.
Are you kidding me? The best money Sony has ever spent.
Ever.
Bar none. Insomniac is the best by hands down.
Hands down. Honestly, can I say something very fanboyish right here, right now?
Go for it.
What PlayStation spent to get Insomniac, they're putting the same output I feel like Bethesda's doing. It just feel like, dude, it feels like it's going to be a game a year. You gave us, I'm sorry, just what was that?
Yeah.
You gave us Spider-Man.
Yep, Miles Morales.
And then the year after, you take a year off and then you get Miles Morales. Then you get Spider-Man Remastered. Then you get Ratchet and Clank. Now you're telling me you're working on a Wolverine game?
Also, in development for PlayStation 5. No 4 and 5. Just 5.
Just 5.
Oh, Joe, I just had a thought.
I know. What's that?
Imagine.
What's that, Kyle?
You're Logan, right? You're walking up into a bar. Someone's starting trouble. You hit R2. The claws come out. And you feel the claws go through the haptics into the triggers on the DualSense.
Morales.
Oh, boy.
I'm engorged, Kyle. I'm engorged.
Shocked by this announcement.
So this was one of them where people were like, there's a game in development that they just made a game. And that we all were thinking this was infamous. But okay, the next game, we see it's Polyphony.
Before that, though, it's very Castlevania-like church music.
Yes.
I'm like, why do that? Why?
But here's Polyphony here.
Yeah, just showing off.
Gran Turismo 7. It looks really pretty.
Yeah.
I am going to say that Horizon looks a bit prettier, but you see that they're also playing with photo mode in really interesting ways. So like you'll take a picture of a lane or like a road or whatever, and you can actually plop the car right there on the spot you want and take a picture of it that way.
That's cool.
And as a person that's only going to use this game as a beautiful photo mode, that's what I'm going to use. And GT7 looks like more Gran Turismo. Ergo, I'm down. I'm in.
PlayStation's version of Forza on the simulation front, and they always kill it, even though it's not my game.
Yep.
It's gorgeous. I'd be excited to get this game and then have my dad play. Because I don't know if I ever told you this. My dad used to be a drag racer. He used to race race cars, yeah. And he loves racing. And so I feel like I think the last racing game he played was like a NASCAR game on PS1 with me. Would love to see his face. Seeing this, I'm like, hey, look how far we've come.
Also, I do want to mention here, Toyota and Ferrari make an appearance, and that's a big deal apparently in these car games because you usually skip out.
Yeah.
So, and look at again that you could just plop down a car, have it, tilt it, play with the wind of the car, and like take a picture. That's really awesome. I can't wait to see more of this game, Kyle. Dirt really got me sold on racing.
It's cool.
And I can't wait to see how people like your father, who have been drag racers all their life, who lived their life a quarter mile at a time. Like, I think your dad's Vin Diesel with a beard.
Fun fact, he sold his drag race car to pay for the engagement ring for my mom.
Aw.
Isn't that sweet?
He's like, I'm doing it for a future family.
Yeah.
So, yeah. GTA 7 coming out March 4th,
you keep
2022.
saying GT7.
GT7. Gran Turismo 7. Jesus, sorry. Coming out March 4th, 2022. If it wasn't for Dirt, this would be a game that I would be skipping. Truth be told.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Man, March again. Insane.
Kyle.
Footage captured on PS5. Let's just put that out there right now.
On PS5.
This ain't no CGI thing made outside of it. This is on PS5.
I thought we were getting Infamous here. It's like I've been looking for a challenge. And I thought about like the bull, I think his name is, right? In Infamous. I thought that was him.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then I saw like static powers and I thought, oh, this is definitely Cole. Let's do this.
And then the suit.
Oh my god.
And then it's the Iron Spider suit for Peter, and then the Miles suit flashes, and you got the Venom strike, and they're just fighting goons on the streets. And this is where my jaw is open. Like, you're telling me Insomniac's giving us both Wolverine and Spider-Man 2 on the same showcase?
Okay. And just pause it here right now, because I don't want to
look
reveal.
At their suits.
Wow.
Oh my god. They look
wow.
so good.
Even looks so good.
Pete's chest looks a little weird. Can I be real? Looks a little weird.
Well, how so?
It looks like it's down farther than it should be.
All right, fair enough.
I don't know.
Okay.
That's a me thing.
So here's the thing. Don't shame his body, Kyle.
I'm not shaming his body.
All right.
At
No
all.
bullying
I
here.
wish I had
No
Peter
body
Parker's
shaming.
body. Are you kidding me?
That's true. Same here. On top of me, shut up, Fox. Kyle. Oh my god, they're doing it. Okay. Insomniac has worked on Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man, and Wolverine. You would think that they would just make them a Ratchet Spider-Man factory. But they're branching out into other stories and making them their own. Crazy.
So, I'll bring it up now because I saw it in chat and I think it fits right here when we're talking about it. I think it was Jedi Master Ren saying how Marvel viewed Insomniac viewed the first Spider-Man game as the Iron Man for the Marvel's video game universe. Is Insomniac just going to be the Marvel games thing on PlayStation side, where they do every single Marvel game? Like, we're getting a Wolverine game. Are we going to get an X-Men game from Insomniac next?
I mean, that's the thought.
Fantastic Four, like
they're building. Like I was saying when we were with the
possibilities are endless, really.
Yeah, the Wolverine reveal. I'm like, are they making their own little MCU?
Yeah,
because Logan could fit right in here.
Absolutely.
So
oh my god, Insomniac Daredevil game. Oh boy,
Exactamundo, my dude. So yes, this reveal was shocking, and I was all for it. And then we get to the villain reveal. It's Kraven, it seems like, and the moment we've all been waiting for.
I don't know why you keep saying Kraven.
Why?
Did they show Kraven at all in this trailer?
I thought that was one of the villains they were fighting.
I think it was just a thug. Honestly.
Oh well, because he's also saying I've been hunting you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna try to pause it. Exactly.
I don't know. I'm waiting for it. God, Venom looks dope. Venom looks so good, guys. He looks like he's ripped right out. Yeah, right out of the comics. Right out of the comics, he looks insane, menacing.
The question.
Wow. Yeah.
I won't spoil it because people might not have played the first game yet. But the end credits of the first game. Yes, there are end credit scenes in the first game. Do we think this Venom is that character?
That's a great question.
Or is this somebody else?
After this reveal, you see the Spider-Man logo as we know and love flash from red to black, and then black. Or no, I'm sorry, not even red to black. It's just black. So I'm thinking it does get onto Peter somehow. Because Venom is just a brutal version of Spider-Man. So
is that the moment then when oh my god, what if we play as Peter the whole time? He gets the Venom suit on him, and then it switches, and we're Miles, and we're fighting Peter as Venom. Here's
a whole bunch of what ifs.
Oh my god, chills!
What if this is a co-op game?
Yeah.
What if you're Peter and I'm Miles?
I'm going to take it even further. What if it's like GTA 5 and we can swap between Spider-Man on the fly as they're fighting crimes in the street and going on their own separate things?
I'm going to take it one step even further.
Yeah.
What if this is a GTA and God of War situation? Let's stop right here. Where you could switch between characters while in the city on the fly, but also in battle when you're doing co-op stuff.
I'll take it. What if you can also switch between the Wolverine game at the same time?
As I live and breathe, the Wolverine.
In 2023.
2023.
So this is
Spider-Man.
now the furthest game that we know.
Yeah.
In the PlayStation lineup.
Yep, this is 2 years away.
2 years away.
Honestly, goes with what the rumors were saying back before the dark times, back before this global panorama. This was supposed to be a 2022 game. Remember that one story of like, yeah, God of War and this game are 2022 games.
Yeah.
So seeing this in 2023, interesting. Very interesting. And yes, the furthest thing. But again, you're selling me on the future. I am in.
Oh, yeah.
And what I said on the stream still holds true here. If you are looking for the console to play your superhero game, it is PlayStation. They're giving you Wolverine, Spider-Man, and then with the deals with Avengers, and then when you have Batman,
Gotham Knights
that are multi-platform, Suicide Squad, that are multi-platform, well, damn, why would you go anywhere else?
Yeah, exactly.
So, for me, wow, this is where the showcase went from, oh boy, to, oh boy, we're in.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle, let's talk about the last one. Let's talk about God of War. Ragnarok is coming.
You just saying the word God of War, I've said it a couple times already, I have chills.
Yeah.
I am so ready to cry over this father-son relationship between Atreus and Kratos. And just seeing Atreus as he's walking into frame here on the trailer as older and strong enough to like carry a full-on buck by himself.
Yeah. And can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
Just pause it right here. Or keep going, whatever.
Yeah.
We opened with God of War where he couldn't kill the buck, right?
Oh my God, Joe.
The growth of this character is like, he's done it himself.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. And like, he's about like, I don't know, anywhere the range of like 14 to maybe 16.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. And he sounds so different. I'm pretty sure the same voice actor, but like, wow. Yeah, this character has grown. And the journey they've been through is something else.
And then like you get this bird flying in and it's freaking Freya.
Yeah. She's upset.
She's very upset.
Rightfully so.
Yeah,
for reasons. Yeah. Okay. This game to me looks like more God of War.
Is that a bad thing?
Not at all.
No.
We see Mimir. He's like an ornament on a table.
He's he's this universe's version of Amazon Alexa. Hey, Mimir.
Yes.
Set a timer.
And we go over the frozen lake that we were on.
This is the shot.
We go over the original game, the lake via the boat, but this time we're on a sled. Mm-hmm. So again, winter has come, and now we're traveling even further into the mythology of oh my God, Norse. I was gonna say Norse mythology here. And we enter this village and it's lively, and it's something so different from God of War because God of War was very, I guess
on the PS2 ones, like there were civilians there, but
yeah,
the earlier games were not like Kratos is a dick in those games. And so you would kill the civilians to get health and orbs. Like you didn't care what was in your way as long as you got to your destination. Here, it's just like he's walking around the town. He's going to shops. He's trying to be a father.
He also mentioned something of like, along the lines of like, we don't have to fight.
Yeah.
Like, you could walk away
and
type
this
of
dude,
something.
What is this dude's situation?
That dwarf with an octopus?
Yeah. So they're already adding to Brock and Sindri, who I think are fantastic secondary characters. Give me another shopkeeper to interact with and do cool things with.
Yeah. God. And even, again, I know it's so strange, but seeing Atreus grow, like, he is now taller than Sindri. Like, oh, for God.
And the enemies are different. Like, you're fighting these amphibian toad-looking creatures, and it looks like you're fighting in the town.
And the one thing that I really like as well is how Atreus is fighting. He's holding his own. He's not just like a bow and arrow guy. He's like, we saw him like battle charge of like a steed that he called into the battle with you. Like, he seems like a true active participant rather than like a a circle button maneuver.
Yeah. So this scene right here in the trailer, it's Kratos and Atreus in the winter, and Atreus is yelling at Kratos, and he says to him, it is easily the best line in this whole trailer.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "You're thinking like I believe you're thinking like a father. I need you to start thinking like a general." And like the whole first game, we were trying to be that father figure, and Kratos is learning how to be that father. And now Atreus is like, no, you need to go back to your general ways of thinking of how we're going to battle and get through whatever this is.
And is this Atreus being arrogant and cocky?
Absolutely, I think it is. 100%.
And Kratos just turns and yells no. Now, what does Thor say to him? Because yes, that's what their next major villain. He says, "You seem like a reasonable person."
Something like that. Yeah.
Are you a reasonable person?
With the Bifrost.
He is voiced by Opie from Sons of Anarchy. He's a fantastic actor. Awesome to see him in this game. He really is. He's great. So I'm already liking the cast that they got for us. It seems like more God of War, of which we love. And my God, it looks so good.
Yeah, there's Atreus. He's riding on like a Patronus-like stag.
Yeah.
Knocking fools over.
And like, it seems like you're doing more, I guess, for the sake of it, like visceral moves.
Sure.
Like I guess there's more moving parts to it. So the other thing that we meet, the person that we meet is Tyr. And in Norse mythology, Tyr is their god of war.
And in the first game, I believe you pick up some of his armor or some of his movesets or stuff like that. So it's super cool. We're going to get to meet him. And what a cool character design too. Like he's taller than Kratos, but his eyes are solid gold.
Yeah. In this story, it seems like it's all about finding out, your son's purpose and the roles he has to play. I will say that, and here's the rule. By the time Ragnarok comes out, you got a week. We are then able to talk about God of War 2018.
Oh, yes.
You can't be upset at that point. You literally had years. You can't be upset.
Absolutely.
Because, come on, even this trailer's like, we've all played this game, right?
At that point,
we're going to talk about it.
Interesting to note, I believe there was no year or date for this. I think. Oh, and we end on her, which we learned afterwards is one of the last living giants in this world. Yeah, no date. So, like, at that point, it'll be 4 years since 2018's. Did I do that math right? Yeah, it'd be 4 years since 2018's God of War. So you have plenty of time.
Yeah.
If we spoil it, it's fine.
Very interesting. Kyle.
Joe.
Oh, God.
Also, Ragnarok confirmed afterwards because they had studio interviews. Corey Barlog is not directing Ragnarok.
Yeah.
He's the creative studio director now, and he's doing things on other things. But the person who is directing has worked on every God of War game, and it is tradition with Sony Santa Monica where there is a new director for the next game. So do not be worried if you were worried about that information. I'm certainly not. And he did confirm with the name of Ragnarok, we're going to see Ragnarok, and whatever that is.
So this isn't a trilogy, it's a duology?
And he said the end of the Norse story is Ragnarok.
So what happens?
What happens? A lot's on the line here. Where does he go next? We go into Egyptian gods?
Like who? Like, let's be real. Is it Kratos? Does he live through this? Or is it Atreus? Or is it still father and son on their way to Crazyville?
Yeah, or completely new God of War. Like I said, an Egyptian god. So we play as that God of War, which I don't know who it is.
Maybe it's like the bird guy. No, that's the god of death. No, we'll find out when that game comes out.
Very cool.
Or a Wikipedia search.
Very cool.
Yeah, and also it goes to show that studio is working on way more than just one or two games.
Yes.
Yeah. So the whole Corey Barlog's working on a space game. He'd tell you he's never heard of it.
Yeah.
But that's probably what's happening. This is an interesting showcase, Kyle, because the last 10 minutes are the most important. And I think, honestly, going over it again, I think this is a better showcase than I thought, but
yeah,
I don't think this is the showcase PlayStation still needed.
Sure.
What's going on with Last of Us Factions? We thought would be a shoo-in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it would have been better if studios said they weren't going to be here. Kind of nail some things down, because I think we got a lot of hopes for this. I don't know if they're going to be quelled. I have not looked at Twitter. God forbid I did.
I really don't want to look, honestly.
It's going to be a horror show, but for me, like, this was a good showcase, but man,
I'm with you.
I feel like there's something missing here. Maybe it's pacing.
Pacing for sure. And I also think after waiting so long to hear about or from them, that I think it's just normal to come out feeling a little underwhelmed.
Yeah.
Because I think our sights were set so high because we haven't heard from anything. Like Blue Point acquisition. Could have swore it was going to happen here.
Yeah.
Right? The long rumored Uncharted game. We both said it was a lock.
Yeah.
Not even here. Like there are some things that I wish were shown off, but they weren't. So you got to think we'll get a couple more of those maybe during Game Awards or something.
I like what Petulant Beard says in the chat here. It was both amazing and disappointing at the same time.
I get that.
It's a mix of emotions. Like there was a lot of things I'm absolutely amped for. Then there was just so many things that I wanted to happen that didn't happen. So expectations, they were met in some regards because, like Tim Olf says in the chat, dude, 2022 is a lock.
Yeah.
Like God of War, Gran Turismo, Horizon, I'm in.
Yeah.
The future of PlayStation 5 looks great. We're getting Wolverine. We're getting Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something amiss still. And it's from the other studios that aren't just Santa Monica and Insomniac. And so, to me, though I'm really excited for a lot of what I saw, I'm still walking back going, feel like there was something not here. Or maybe I'm just going through the motions. I'm just expecting too much, as we often do on the internet. You know? So, Kyle, walking through we had your thoughts walking into this event. Have they changed? What do you feel? If we're ranking this from a scale of 1 to 10, where are we putting it?
Ooh, from 1 to 10.
1 to 10.
I'd give it a 7.5.
Okay.
I think it was a good show. At times fantastic and great. But it, like you said, I feel like there's still a lot. We're walking out with more questions. I feel like things that we shouldn't. Also, the blog said that we'll see more of God of War next year.
Yeah.
So
this is their big one.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like I have more questions about, like you said, where's that Factions game? What is Blue Point doing next? Granted, they just put out Demon's Souls last year. Like, why aren't you buying Blue Point yet? Why aren't you announcing that? There's just more questions than answers. But what we had, fantastic.
I think you're right. I think I'm going to land same here.
Oh,
I think
this is Final Fantasy 16 not being here. Weird.
I think they already said that's a TGS game.
Oh, it is. Okay.
I could be wrong. It could be full of crap, but yeah, rumor has it TGS game.
Okay.
Also, just to square up the last bit of news, we got a new acquisition and let me get Fire Sprite. There you go. These are the creators of games like Wipeout, and they helped with Star Citizen. This is a studio of over 200 plus people. They are working on an action sandbox game, rumor has it, and a AAA first person shooter for PlayStation. So PlayStation's making a lot of moves. I think the chat said it right. It's like, it was disappointing while at the same time, awesome. It's a weird, strange feeling. It's a conflicting feeling, I feel,
Yeah.
Yeah. That said, Kyle, that's been our special episode of The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. You could support the show over on Patreon at PS Trophy Room on Patreon. Patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. You get the gist. I'm tired. It's been a long day's work. You can find us over at PS Trophy Room on Twitter. You can find me over at Mr. Badbit on Twitter as well. Kyle, where can they find you, good sir?
You can find me at Mr. KSEP on Twitter and on PSN and Xbox. Check out all the indie news coverage for indie games over at 61indie.com. That's SIXONEINDIE.
And before we get on out of here, I would be remiss if we don't shout out our patrons, even though it is a special episode and we're doing a whole lot of stuff behind the scenes, making sure this is live and all that jazz. Our patrons over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. I want to thank our platinum producers, Todd Burwitz and Too Soon. I want to thank our gold patrons, Chaotic Monkey, Gavin Goffrey, Jose Jimenez, Jedi Master Ren, Metal Kirby, and Robbie Bobby Miller himself. I want to thank our Silver Plus members, Hide Indoors, Nakachaka, Marcus O'Neill, oh, it's just Ray, JB the Purple Monkey, Jedus Von Metal, Tim Ulf, Justin Rodriguez, Awesome Dave, Cypher Primus, Captain Logan, Tom Roper, and Mr. and Mrs. Nasty Boots. Thank you all so much for supporting the show the way you do. It is the reason why we have a live show in the first place. It's the reason why we look so good, sound so great. It's because of your generosity over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room that makes this show possible week in, week out. And last but not leastly, our giveaway for Kina, A Bridge of Spirits. All you have to do is go to Apple Podcasts and rate us 5 stars. Tell us why you like the show and add your @ so that we can find you over on Twitter to shout you out and call you the winner of the giveaway. That comes out the week before Kina does, so make sure you get on that. And so with all that said, and with all that out of the way, everybody, keep your wits about you, keep hunting, and keep playing PlayStation. See you guys.